My name's Hannah Lewis, and I have been farming for 7 years. I found my way to it through doing environmental education programming that brought me to the world of urban food systems projects, and realized what an incredible thing food can be for connecting people to place. And once you feel a connection to place, the possibilities are so open for motivating people around sustainability and about justice and healing and community. And so I got really hooked, and I realized how much I love the idea of growing a lot of food for a lot of people in a way that is in good relationship with the land and in the community. And yeah, that landed me here on the Sunshine Coast. So my partner Mel and I started Grounded Acres Farm 1.5 years ago, so we're in our 2nd year. We're farming 1.5 acres, but we are going to expand up to 2.5 eventually on unceded ancestral Squamish territory, close to the traditional village site of Sďwx in what's currently known as Gibsons. Grounded Acres is a queer owned and operated farm, and we do market veg, about 60 varieties of vegetables and berries, as well as 100 laying hens for eggs. We're certified organic, and we sell through farmers markets, wholesale to chefs, through a weekly box that's similar to a CSA, but it's actually a collaboration between a number of local farms that participate. And then we have a farm stand on our farm as well. The barriers that I see that really exist in our food system at the moment, from the perspective of eaters and consumers of food, it's the sort of global industrial food system that has externalized the true cost of what it means to produce food. And so it means that we've got really cheap food produced in a way that is not sustainable, is harming communities, people, and land, and actually undercutting our own ability to feed ourselves and live on this planet. And unfortunately, at the same time, those of us who are trying to grow food, while we include the true costs and charge actually what it costs for us to grow that food, makes it inaccessible for a lot of people, and specifically for the people who are most harmed by the legacies of colonialism, by poverty and other structures, so that the people who can access our food are the people who already walk with a lot of privilege. Some of the things that I get really excited about visioning are things like improved access to land for young and new farmers. I think right now there are so many young folks, or just folks who are new to farming, who are going to farm schools, helping out on farms, woofing, getting excited about farming, and also for their mental health and their holistic well-being, realizing that a life outside of the city and working the land and doing a meaningful job with their body feels good for them. So we have all these people who want to be farmers. But in southwestern BC specifically, the cost of land in almost any agricultural region is so high that people can't afford it. So what I can see is I get really excited about programs that help young folks access land through leases, through cooperative ownership, and some of the things that I see are already making a difference, but could do so much more work with more permanent funding and a little bit more support, would be things like training around establishing and running cooperatives. There's a few models of really great cooperative farms around the country and in our region, but that's a really great way too for sales channels. Sometimes when you're small, you can't scale up enough to access certain sales channels. And so working collaboratively to be able to sell together is huge, working collaboratively to share tractor implements. So I get really excited about initiatives for collaboration. We don't all need to be working alone. And I also get really excited about things like food hubs, where they have permanent and core funding for staff who can help create spaces where a bunch of different growers and producers, including protein and dairy, not just veg and fruit, can be bringing their products. And there can be a stable and consistent place for people in the community to come and access those products at a price point that works for them. Finding ways where there can be these community hubs for food access where everybody feels like they belong there. There's models of that happening in other places, and I'm really excited about what that could look like in our communities as well. So access to land for farmers is a really exciting potential that I see, and being able to get the food to the community in a way that's accessible is the other thing that I'm seeing the beginnings of, and I feel really hopeful about. Realizing the potential of these kinds of dreams for our food systems for the future would mean that as a farmer, we're able to put less of our time into writing and applying for loans and grants, less time on promotions and marketing, and more time relationship building with the community. That would feel really great, more time growing the food. It would mean seeing a lot of our friends moving here into our community because they can access land, and a vibrant community of small-scale growers focused on land stewardship, that we would all be able to share in resources and knowledge together and show up to the sales channels here in a way that means our local folks have really consistent and abundant access to healthy local food. It would feel really good to know that we don't have to seek off-farm income to be able to keep our business going, knowing that if the true cost of the food was what we were seeing for the work we were doing, that would feel pretty amazing. And in a more kind of tangible way, we have a lot of dreams for what our farm could be in the community that we can't realize until we're in a really financially stable place. Dreams like establishing orchard fruits and berry shrubs, which we might not be able to harvest from for 2, 3, 10 years, but would really improve the food security and the diversity of food in our region. It would mean investments in infrastructure like hoop houses for season extension, so local folks can be eating local food all through the winter and not having to truck it in off the ferry into our community. It would mean paying ourselves and our farm workers a better wage. You know, that would be a big part of it too, and that would be really exciting.